Part 92. After the flash marriage, the character collapsed. Author, Dalby in the World. Chapter 911. Chapter 911, Running is the best strategy. At the last banquet, Lisa wanted to hit her when she disagreed. Tanyuj was not there at the time, so he suffered a loss from her. At this moment, she realized deeply that if he is not beaten to death, she will always jump around in front of you and feed you mouse droppings. It seems that when he went to Dongfang Xiang to punish her, he spared her lightly, allowing her to have the time and energy to trouble her again after he stopped punishing her. It seems that he can't be soft-hearted next time. Miss Lisa, please have some sense of self-cultivation and shame as a socialite's daughter. You are not Tanyuj's, but you come here to provoke me as your girlfriend. Don't you think it's shameless for you to act like this? By the way, are you really? It's very shameless. No matter how many knives have been used on my face, if I want to lose face, I won't use the knife. You. Lisa was humiliated by Jian Yuman's words, and she was speechless for a moment. She didn't expect that Jian Yuman's ability to curse and fight back was so strong. Cousin, I know you don't want to admit your despicable behavior. As a cousin, I still want to persuade you, forget it. After all, you and Tanyuj are just women that Tanyuj doesn't want, so why do you want to destroy Lisa and Tanyuj? Jian Yunyun and Jian Yuman have been quarreling for many years. Of course, they are very good at talking, and of course they are also very good at making things out of nothing. Jian Yunyun's words about women Tanyuj didn't want completely ignited Jian Yuman's anger, and at the same time, it was a hidden wound in her heart. Jian Yunyun, how can you not want your face so much? Go for plastic surgery even if you don't want it? Don't keep calling me cousin. I don't have a shameless cousin like you. I have no relationship with your family for a long time. And you are not welcome here. The onlookers didn't know who was telling the truth and who was lying. They just treated them as spectators. Now Jian Yuman just wants to get rid of these two troublesome women as soon as possible. This is her workplace, and the two of them obviously want to cause trouble on purpose. Telling some untrue things, no matter whether the people present believe it or not, start the rumor first, even if it is false, it will damage Jian Yuman's image in the hearts of these people. Jian Yuman's mood was depressed, and very depressed. The two plague gods had no intention of leaving, and they even resisted fiercely. What are you doing? Don't hold on to my hand, you're going to hurt me, Lisa shouted softly and pretentiously, her eyes red, and she burst into tears accusing Jian Yuman of his atrocities. On the contrary, it was obviously her who did it, yet she acted like she was bullying others. Jian Yunyun rolled her eyes and quickly came to Jian Yuman, stretched out her hand and patted Jian Yuman's hand quickly. You bad woman, don't bully Lisa, let Lisa go. Jian Yuman frowned, feeling unhappy, but still held Lisa tightly. Dick, who really couldn't stand it, immediately walked over to Jian Yuman and said seriously. These two ladies, this is the embassy, not a place for you to make trouble. Please also pay attention to your image and don't do anything that will humiliate your family business. I have called the security. If you don't leave within 1 minute, I will be kicked out by security. Lisa and Jian Yunyun looked at each other after hearing this. Quick victory. Jian Yunyun suddenly pushed Jian Yuman hard. Jian Yuman took a step back, and naturally let go of Lisa, deciding in her heart that running was the best option. End of this chapter. After the flash marriage, the character collapsed. Author, Dalby in the World. Chapter 912. Chapter 912 Mr. Tang's Maintenance 1. Jian Yunyun suddenly pushed Jian Yuman hard. Jian Yuman took a step back, and naturally let go of Lisa, deciding in her heart that running was the best option. She will definitely not lose in a fight with Lisa alone, but not with Jian Yunyun. She will definitely suffer the loss. Even if she goes crazy and does not suffer any loss, she will definitely not get any benefit, and her image of a proud goddess will definitely be shattered. Jianyuman turned around and ran away. She said first that she would wait until the security came to take them away. Jianyunyun and Lisa immediately chased them out. Dick quickly blocked the two trouble-making women with quick eyesight and hands, but Lisa slipped out. Jianyuman, don't run away, Lisa shouted loudly and ran after her quickly. Jianyuman ran 2 steps, and the face of Tina, an old maid, appeared in front of her again. What are you doing? Why are you making so much noise in the workplace? Do you still want to pass the probation period? Naturally, Tina secretly watched in the dark for a while. Seeing Jianyuman in trouble, she didn't mind stepping on her. She had already. Jianyuman has been unhappy for a long time. Jianyuman heard Tina's voice, looked at the figure of Lisa chasing behind her, and finally chose to brake urgently. But he didn't see a figure who had just entered the office, and bumped into the figure of someone running in. Ouch! Jianyuman felt like she had hit a wall. She hit it so hard that her nose almost broke off. Jianyuman rubbed her nose and muttered, "Who? What a good dog." The voice stopped abruptly and did not continue the next words. Because she saw a face that was as handsome as a demon. The visitor stared at his phoenix eyes, waiting for Jianyuman to continue speaking. Jianyuman burst into laughter. Unexpectedly, Tangyuj also came running over. Did they make an appointment to watch the fun together? Before Jianyuman could finish her words, she saw Lisa chasing after her. Her F-cup was shaking violently in the air. Jianyuman really doubted whether her would fly out and hit the ground. She saw that Tangyuj was also there. The expression on her face immediately changed, from the look of an angry shrew to the expression of a lovable and shy girl. "Yuj, why are you here?" Lisa stood like a lady, with a standard smile on her face, and slowly approached Tangyuj. Tangyuj looked at the pretentious Lisa with his evil eyes, feeling disgusted in his heart. "Miss Lisa, why are you also in the embassy of country F?" Tangyuj asked politely, but the posture of his hand was to wrap his arms around Jianyuman's shoulders in a protective manner. Jianyuman struggled to break free from his arms, but she couldn't fight against Tangyuj. She had an awkward expression on her face because she had received curious looks from all directions. At first, the colleagues looked like they were watching a good show, but when they saw that Jianyuman was about to fight with Lisa and the others, they continued to treat each other as freeloaders. When Tangyuj showed up and looked protective of Jianyuman, everyone became even more curious about Tangyuj's identity. Although Tangyuj was dressed like a handsome young man, he could not conceal the domineering and kingly aura of a superior person. Coupled with his overly excellent appearance and seductive eyes, he is truly a rare quality man. Jianyuman and Tangyuj were once husband and wife, and few people in Jianyuman's work unit knew about it. So far, only Minister Jordan and Dick are known. What is the identity of Minister Jordan? Naturally, he will not talk about it everywhere. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After the flash marriage, the character collapsed. Author, Dalby in the World. Chapter 913. Chapter 913 Mr. Tang's Maintenance 2. So far, only Minister Jordan and Dick are known. What is the identity of Minister Jordan? Naturally, he will not talk about it everywhere. Dick also asked Jianyuman to keep her divorce secret from Tangyuj. However, the company still began to spread the news that Jianyuman was once married, but everyone did not know who her ex-husband was. Most of the colleagues present did not know Tangyuj's identity. Tangyuj is still very low-key in the business. Regarding the work of the Emgrand Group, he rarely attends events on behalf of the Emgrand Group. Most of the time he attends, he uses his identity as the son of the president of the Tang Dynasty Group. Many people know him, and those who have met him will have an impression of him, but it is difficult to overlap him with Mr. Tang of the Emigrant Group. Not many people knew him, and he was rarely seen in public. However, a small number of translators still knew Tang Yu's identity. In addition, Tang Yu had hosted a meeting last time, so everyone who attended the meeting knew clearly that Tang Yu's identity was the chairman of the Emigrant Group. But there are many people who know Lisa. Seeing her shy look when facing Tang Yu, they naturally guess that his identity is not simple. Now he is still hugging Qian Yuman. Everyone knows that they quarreled because of a man, so they naturally overlap with Tang Yu in front of them. When Tang Yu asked why she came to the embassy, Lisa didn't know how to answer for a while. Qian Yunyun also came over at this time, frowning in annoyance. Today's plan to find trouble seemed to be failing. Mr. Tang, I'm here to see my cousin, Lisa is accompanying me, Qian Yunyun joked with a normal expression, which made Qian Yuman look with disdain on her face. This woman had the nerve to say such a thing, and actually said she wanted to see Qian Yuman. Qian Yunyun's few words are simply wasted work. Doesn't Tang Yu not know the relationship between Qian Yuman and Qian Yunyun? Tang Yu sneered. Qian Yunyun, I once warned you that if you appear in front of Qian'er again and cause trouble for her, I will make it impossible for you to stay in this world. Tang Yu narrowed his eyes dangerously, with a terrifying smile on his lips, and at the same time, his eyes fell on Lisa. Lisa had goosebumps all over her body. She had already guessed that Tang Yu was warning her at the same time that if she dared to touch Qian Yuman, she wouldn't be able to live well. Even though Tang Yu is usually personable and always gives people the impression that he is easy to get along with, in fact, when he threatens people, his lethality is still very strong, but compared to his friend Lan Tianlu, he is still much weaker. Qian Yunyun relied on Lisa's support to dare to appear in front of Qian Yuman many times to find trouble. Moreover, she thought that Tang Yu and Qian Yuman would no longer defend Qian Yuman after they divorced. Unexpectedly, even if they divorced, Tang Yu would still protect Qian Yuman. This made her feel jealous, envious, and even more indignant. Qian Yunyun was directly intimidated by Tang Yu and did not dare to speak. She hid behind Lisa in fear. Although Lisa felt threatened by Tang Yu, the rich daughter who had been pampered for more than 20 years was still very unafraid sometimes. After all, she has strong confidence. Her father is the 10th CEO of the group, and Tang Yu is only 7th. The difference is not that far apart. Even if Tang Yu wanted to cause trouble for her, he would still consider the power behind her. It is precisely because of this that Lisa feels confident. Yu, why are you still protecting this woman? I'm here to cause trouble for her today. We are going to hold activities, building a building, the post will be reopened on the 24th, and a small book review theater, big red envelopes and a physical book, everyone actively participates. Please see the top comment for details. This time His Majesty has prepared a lot of big red envelopes for the new year. Readers who have reached the disciple level, please join the group. Your presence is needed. Remember to post a screenshot of your fan value when joining the group. Group number, 4558757740, this group requires disciples and fans with a value of 2,000 or more to enter. End of this chapter. After the flash marriage, the character collapsed. Author, Daobi in the World. Chapter 914. Chapter 914 She belongs to me now. 1. Lisa directly explained the reason why she came, and was not afraid that her image would be damaged in front of Tang Yu. Seeing Tang Yu defending Qian Yuman, Miss Qinjin also became angry. This doesn't seem to have anything to do with you. After all, we are just ordinary friends, Tang Yu said ruthlessly. Although there was a smile on his face, the alienation between them could be seen in his eyes. In Tang Yu's heart, he wouldn't even pay attention to Lisa unless he had a good relationship with Lisa's father. He was usually polite to Lisa and wouldn't give her the slightest possibility that they might be together. He was relatively distant. Why are we just ordinary friends? You know I like you. Lisa took a step forward and approached Tanyuj. Sorry, I don't like you, Tanyuj said coldly. That's right, he has a good reputation, so you'd better stop making random decisions. Jian Yuman spoke silently from the side. In Jian Yuman's mind, Tanyuj must have gotten back together with Murong 11 at this moment. She didn't think that Tanyuj would remain single after divorcing her. He must have gotten back together with Murong 11, whom she had liked for many years. But one thing she was sure of was that Tanyuj was still single because he didn't have a wedding ring on his hand. But in Lisa's ears, what she heard was that Jian Yuman was making a palace declaration. Even Tanyuj was a little surprised by Jian Yuman's words. Have you really gotten back together with him? How is that possible? Jian Yuman grinned and shook his head, pointing at Tanyuj with disgust. My ex-wife, don't dislike me so much. After all, I am a wealthy man with a wealth that rivals the country, and an extraordinary beauty. Give me some face. Tanyuj couldn't laugh or cry. It was the first time that someone had disliked me like this. Tanyuj's answer instantly caused countless gasps to be heard all around. Everyone clearly heard Tanyuj calling Jian Yuman his ex-wife, and finally understood that the ex-husband of their beautiful new colleague Mei was actually Tanyuj. Tanyuj's identity has long been spread among colleagues who knew about it, and everyone knows Jian Yuman's background. The wife of the former chairman of the Emgrand Group, now it seems that the couple is on the verge of getting back together. Maybe they were still having bad tempers when they divorced. Tanyuj's answer made Jian Yuman's eyes widen, and she frowned and glared at Tanyuj. She wants to be a low-key translator. Why did Tanyuj show up today? Why did Lisa show up today? Do they just want to make themselves the object of gossip among everyone? Will she be able to work well in the company in the future? Now it seems that it is not possible. She felt everyone's gaze. Of course, how can they get back together? A nice male voice joined their discussion. Today is probably Jian Yuman's worst day this month. She is afraid that Jian Yuman is not famous enough, so she frantically invites a group of celebrities to her workplace. God has simply played a big joke on Jian Yuman. Jian Yuman, who has always wanted to keep a low profile at work, has completely become the most famous celebrity in the entire company from today on. The person speaking is none other than Kenny Bryce. His handsome mixed-race features are so dazzling, his deep facial features, and his golden hair are so eye-catching. His handsome clothes and noble temperament make him look absolutely different on the outside. Lose to Tanyuj. Jian Yuman looked back and saw Kenny, her expression instantly became abstract. End of this chapter. After the flash marriage, the character collapsed. Author, Daobi in the World. Chapter 915. Chapter 915. She belongs to me now too. Jian Yuman looked back and saw Kenny, her expression instantly became abstract. Not only in abstract terms, but also in terms of life and death, because she felt that her life was going to become completely dark, no, completely chaotic. Why are you here? Jian Yuman looked like she was about to cry. Why did Kenny come too? Seeing Kenny coming, Tanyuj's expression immediately turned disgusting, even hostile. Jian Yuman, who was annoyed at the hodgepodge scene, didn't notice Tanyuj's expression at all. You forgot, I made an appointment with you to have dinner at 12 noon. It's already 12:15 noon now. I called you 10 times but no one answered, so I came in to find you. Kenny smiled. As he said that, seeing Tanyuj's hostile eyes, he chose to pretend he didn't see anything. Jian Yuman looked at the time on Ka's watch, and sure enough, a quarter of an hour had passed. It was all caused by Lisa and the others, causing her to forget all about Kenny Oba. You can go back. Jianer will have dinner with me today at noon. Tanyuj still hugged Jian Yuman, raising his eyebrows at Kenny with a provocative look and raising his proud little chin. At this moment, Tang Yuj and Qian Yuman's posture was very ambiguous. Qian Yuman also ignored the fact that she was being hugged by Tang Yuj because of the development of external events. After Tang Yuj said he wanted to have lunch with her, she realized that she was still being hugged by Tang Yuj, and immediately tried to break away forcefully. Tang Yuj, let me go quickly. Tang Yuj's hold on Qian Yuman was so strong that she couldn't break free. I won't let you go unless you eat with me. Qian Yuman knew very well how shameless and rogue Tang Yuj was. Chairman Tang, let her go quickly, she belongs to me at noon today. Kenny's hand fell on Tang Yuj's hand on Qian Yuman's shoulder, and he used his strength to pry Tang Yuj's hand away. Tang Yuj was almost at odds with him, hugging Qian Yuman harder just to prevent Kenny from breaking his palms apart. Neither of the two men would admit defeat. They competed openly and openly. Although they both had smiles on their faces, the undercurrent between the two could no longer be concealed. Wow, it turns out that Mei is so popular, said Colleague, who was watching. Do you think this handsome mixed-race guy looks familiar? You didn't see, this is not Kenny Bryce, the eldest son of the Bryce family, the richest man in the world. Oh my god, the son of the richest man actually likes Mei too. It's incredible to have a chairman of the Emgrand group who likes her, and now there's also Kenny Bryce. In her last life, Mei must have saved the world, so there are so many outstanding men jealous of her. The spectators all around felt that they were witnessing the most exciting fighting show in history. First, they watched two women fighting for a man, and now it turned into two outstanding men fighting for a woman. At this moment, they began to deeply admire Qian Yuman. What method did she use to make two top men at the top of the pyramid like her? Although she is beautiful, there are many women more beautiful than her in this world. If someone asks Qian Yuman seriously, Qian Yuman will definitely answer seriously, I am beautiful, cute, charming, kind and simple. Because of my personal charm, I conquered them and had to fall in love with her. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After the flash marriage, the character collapsed. Author, Dalby in the World. Chapter 916. Chapter 916 She Belongs to Me Now 3. However, at this moment, Qian Yuman Z wanted to use one sentence to represent her heart at this moment. Excellence is sometimes a kind of distress. Fascinating and sometimes disturbing. For example, she is very hungry now and wants to eat a good, delicious meal to satisfy her needs. However, the two men in front of her are still competing, trapping her between them. Like a good student, Qian Yuman raised her hand and asked cheerfully. Two of you, have you finished fighting? Can you let me, the person involved, express my opinion? Tang Yuj's eyes were threatening, intimidating the woman who still wanted to leave his arms. If she dared to leave him and Kenny to eat, she would be the one to suffer. Kenny looked at Qian Yuman tenderly and respected her choice, no matter who she was having dinner with. Qian Yuman reached out and patted the hands of the two men on her shoulders. Can you please take your hands off my shoulders? I feel like my shoulders are about to cross. As Qian Yuman said, the two men were jealous when they were competing for points. As a result, the force on her shoulders became stronger and stronger, and her shoulders tilted. Didn't they see it? Why is she always the one who gets hurt? The two men looked at each other. Kenny was the first to let go, and Tang Yuj also let go with some reluctance. Qian Yuman, who was finally free, felt free for a moment and breathed a long sigh of relief. It's time to show off your power. Mr. Tang, I already have an appointment at noon today. As for you who came uninvited, you can leave with your admirers who also came uninvited. Qian Yuman pointed at Lisa and then at the gate, make an inviting gesture. Tang Yuj frowned intuitively, feeling unhappy. I do not want. Your attitude makes it impossible for us to be friends. Jian Yuman looked at the surrounding environment, and her meaning was already obvious. Tang Yu's brows furrowed even more tightly, and the words unpleasant were self-evident. Jian, can I not leave? I will also eat with you. After all, I am also your friend. Tang Yu compromised a little. Who made him care about her? He couldn't stand the slightest threat. No, I am very principled. I can go out to eat with you next time. Jian Yuman hesitated to speak, but the expression on Tang Yu's face had become happy, and Jian Yuman added another sentence. I'll call Secretary Zhang when the time comes. I heard that Xiao Jiji and his wife are also in London. We can also call Juju together then. What? And shouting about so many light bulbs. Tang Yu objected in his heart. Lisa on the side was very angry because no matter how she jumped, these two people treated her like air. She was not blind, so she could naturally see that the relationship between Tang Yu and Jian Yuman was very ambiguous, especially the way Tang Yu looked at Jian Yuman. It was a doting look, and it was clear that he still had feelings for Jian Yuman and had not let go of her. Tang Yu didn't care. He couldn't let them be alone today. He was unwilling to leave. The picture remained deadlocked for a while, and Jian Yuman sighed deeply. Little funny boy, I don't mind if he dines with us. This is what Kenny Appa said, and he took a step back and promised Tang Yu that we could eat with him too. Hey, don't do it. The atmosphere around the meal was so depressing, she could already foresee what it would be like during the meal. Humph, I reluctantly had a meal with him. A certain arrogant man shook his head handsomely and actually agreed to the proposal to have a meal together. End of this chapter. After the flash marriage, the character collapsed. Author, Daobi in the World. Chapter 917. Chapter 917. She belongs to me now. 4. Jian Yuman looked back and forth between the two men. Do you really want to eat together? But thinking about it, everyone will be friends in the future, and if the two of them can sit down and have a meal together, maybe there won't be any tension between them next time they meet. Jian Yuman looked at Jian Yunyun and Lisa, who were angry, and then looked at Tang Yu. Her consciousness was obvious. You guys take care of it. He pointed around and then pointed to his own position. I will continue to work, and there are still a few finishing touches to be done. With everyone watching, Jian Yuman sat back in her seat and devoted herself to her work. Anyone's curious eyes or other looks are regarded as air by her. Tang Yu immediately politely asked Sally to leave. When Sally left, her expression was ugly, and she looked at Jian Yuman with extremely sinister eyes. She won't just give up like that. Jian Yuman, don't be happy too early. It's amazing to have two men protecting you. You have always been an ugly duckling, and you will never become a phoenix in this life, and she, Lisa, has been a phoenix since she was born. Invited Lisa and Jian Yunyun, the embassy of country F to country Y, two men with perfect excellence in all aspects, standing at the top of the pyramid, standing aside quietly waiting for Jian Yuman to finish the work. While Jian Yuman was working, the two men were also secretly competing with each other, who would not let each other go. Although they didn't speak, they looked at each other with arrogant eyes. Of course Jian Yuman couldn't feel it at work. After she finished work, she went out for dinner with two outstanding men under the attention of all her colleagues. The whole way out of the embassy, she was surrounded by people. They were like sandwich cookies, sandwiching her in the middle. Jian Yuman's heart was shattered, and she knew that it would be impossible for her to keep a low profile in the future. She is obviously a low-key woman. Why does she always attract so much attention? The final conclusion was that the two men who appeared next to him were all to blame. After that, everyone had a meal together, and Jian Yuman was treated to a sandwich biscuit again. On the surface, everyone was talking and laughing, and Jian Yuman was also very satisfied with the current harmonious scene. Only the two men knew clearly in their hearts that they had been secretly competing with each other, but they just didn't express it on the surface. And a certain woman who was really stupid or pretending to be stupid finished her lunch happily, finally patted her and left, happily flew back to the office to work, leaving two men talking. Tanyuj raised the corners of his mouth and swore with a confident smile. Chiener and I will get back together. Kenny showed an interesting smile. Really? Where does the confidence come from? Just because she once loved me deeply, even if she is with you now, she still came back to me in the end. I am her first man and her ex-husband. You can't beat me for this. You also said that your ex-husband is in the past tense. I don't take it to heart. I have been by her side for nearly 3 years. Time is the best way to forget love. One day you will become the one in her heart. Once. Then just wait and see. I, Tanyuj, have never lost in my life, let alone you. I'm not afraid of you. If it's mine, it's mine. If it's not mine, I won't be tough. The two men looked at each other, neither of them admitting defeat. Their strong momentum was strongly felt by the guests and waiters passing by, so they even took a detour for this reason. End of this chapter. After the flash marriage, the character collapsed. Author, Dalby in the World. Chapter 918. Chapter 918 Tanyuj, the Incense Thief 1. Tanyuj is not a passive man. He has a trick up his sleeve ever since he deceived Chien-Yuman. He had never been afraid of anyone or anything, but he was only afraid of her leaving. Ask him to do nothing and watch Chiener with other men, but he can't do it. In this life, Chien-Yuman can only be his woman. In a suite of a 5-star hotel, in the bathroom of a room, a woman with a graceful figure was taking a bath. She was in a good mood, humming a tune in her mouth, rubbing a lot of bubbles on her body, and holding the bubbles in her hands. Playing with it? I like to take a shower to keep my skin nice, ahahao, put on a shower cap and sing and dance, ahahao. The closed door was slowly opened, and a tall figure secretly opened the door and sneaked in. I heard the beauty in the bathroom taking a shower, humming a song, with a wicked look in her evil eyes. The tall figure stood at the door, looking at the closed door, and realized one thing. Chien-Yuman was taking a bath inside. Standing at the door was the incense thief Tanyuj. He didn't expect to sneak in and meet Chien-Yuman taking a bath inside. Chien-Yuman's graceful body immediately came to mind. Thinking of her curvy figure, the naked Chien-Yuman appeared in front of her eyes. Someone who has been abstinent for many years, somewhere in the lower body that will be passed on to future generations, has reacted more directly than in his mind, and has the highest respect for the woman inside. Tanyuj looked down at his crotch and shook his head with a helpless smile. Sure enough, this body reacted most directly to Chiener. Just by listening to her songs that were out of tune, she already had a reaction. He didn't even see anyone inside, and the bathroom had opaque walls and doors, so he could only rely on fantasy. But to be honest, it's been almost 3 years, and her singing skills are really unsatisfactory. At this moment, Chien-Yuman's cell phone rang. Your Majesty, there is an unruly citizen who wants to see you. You have the final say whether to answer the call or kill him. Tanyuj was startled when he heard Chien-Yuman's ringtone. When he realized that it was Chien-Yuman's ringtone, he felt funny. The person inside was taking a shower, and the sound of water did not make her hear the ringing of her cell phone outside. Tanyuj gave up standing at the bathroom door, thinking about the woman he loved, and walked over to pick up her phone and take a look. Kenny Appa, your sister, this called my wife again. Tanyuj couldn't help but complain when he saw the caller ID on his phone. There are very few people in the world that Tanyuj dislikes, and the one he dislikes the most is Kenny Bryce. I have never known a person to be so annoying. Even Su Warong, the senior student who had a strong love for him back then, could face it calmly. He would not act like a when he saw the other person, and he would be ready to fight at any time. But this Kenny Bryce was different. From the first time he met him, he was very hostile to this man. He also knew that he had been by Jianyuman's side in the past few years and was the most dangerous enemy for him to recover Jianyuman. With Kenny at his side, it would be much more difficult for him to recover Jianyuman. Every time he heard Jianyuman call Kenny Oba, he would drink a jar of vinegar, which made his stomach sore and uncomfortable. Every time he wanted to cover her mouth and stop calling Kenny Bly like that. Sri Lanka. Love you guys. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After the flash marriage, the character collapsed. Author, Dalby in the World. Chapter 919. Chapter 919 Tanyuj, the Incense Thief 2. Tanyuj watched the phone ring again, this was the second time, and he wanted to smash the phone impulsively. Now that Gianna's boyfriend is Kenny Bryce, something must be done to destroy it and make the two misunderstand each other. When the two break up, he can take the opportunity to intervene between them and let Gianna realize that he is the most worthy person to be entrusted to for life. Tanyuj didn't mind at all, ruining their relationship and becoming the third party between them. Even in his heart, he is the real palace, and Kenny Bryce is the flowers and plants outside, not worthy of Jianyuman's lifelong entrustment. Tanyuj's eyes flashed with a cunning light, and he stretched out his hand to gently slide the screen of his mobile phone and put it to his ear. Little funny boy, do you have time tonight? Let's have dinner together. I'm going to New York in a few days, and my dad is urging me to go to the Abbott's anniversary. Kenny was in a good mood at the moment, and his tone of voice was very relaxed. I had no idea that the person who answered the phone was someone other than Jianyuman. Tanyuj raised his eyebrows slightly and pretended to speak in a relaxed tone. Who are you? My Gianna is taking a bath right now. Kenny on the other side of the phone obviously didn't expect that the person who answered the phone was not Jianyuman, but actually someone he was afraid of. Chairman Tang, why did you answer the phone on behalf of Xiaodalbi? Didn't I tell you? Gianna is taking a shower. We won't talk to an outsider like you in detail later. We are busy. After saying this, Tanyuj hung up the phone, and what he said was particularly annoying. People misunderstand. It is easy for normal people to misunderstand what Tanyuj said. Most people will think that they are doing something bad. Kenny naturally fell into the category of misunderstanding. Looking at the words being spoken on the phone, a trace of sadness flashed in his eyes. Beth. Busy. Outsider. He hasn't seen her for 2 or 3 days, but Tanyuj reconciled with her? Could it be that Xiaodalbi already knows the truth of that year? Otherwise, how could they get back together so quickly? Since seeing Tanyuj appear next to Jianyuman again, he has actually made preparations and realized that Xiaodalbi will return to Tanyuj. However, he could do nothing but watch them reconcile because he felt guilty. He couldn't tell from Tanyuj's behavior during the past few meetings with him. His possessiveness towards Xiaodalbi and his desire to own Xiaodalbi again were too obvious. Even if Xiaodalbi said that she would continue to be friends with him, how could he not see that she still had a place for him in her heart? Since meeting Tanyuj again and knowing that Tanyuj has been pestering Jianyuman for nothing recently, Jianyuman is not the only one who has complicated moods. Kenny's mood is even more complicated than Jianyuman's. At that time, I knew clearly the situation between my friends Wang Tianyu and Jianyuman, and I also knew clearly how Jianyuman and Tanyuj separated. Everything was caused by the arrangement of my friend Wang Tianyu. At that time, he only had a good impression of Jianyuman, but he could not betray Wang Tianyu for a woman or do anything to hurt his good brother. One side is a brother, and the other side is a person he likes. If he is caught in the middle, no matter whether he says it or not, he will hurt one person. Even now, he will not tell the truth to Jianyuman. If he tells it, everyone will know what Wang Tianyu did back then. Then he is unjust. He cannot do what he has done for more than 10 years. Brothers unkind and unjust things. End of this chapter. After the flash marriage, the character collapsed. Author, Dalby in the World. Chapter 920. Chapter 920 Tanyuj, the Incense Thief 3. Even now, he will not tell the truth to Tianyuman. If he tells it, everyone will know what Wang Tianyu did back then. Then he is unjust. He cannot do what he has done for more than 10 years. Brothers unkind and unjust things. Thinking about it, no matter how you think about it, hiding it from Tianyuman is the least harmful option at the moment. He didn't say it in the past, he won't say it now, and he won't be able to say it in the future. Originally I just wanted to be an outsider and watch their grievances and resentments. But he didn't expect that one day he would also have feelings for Tianyuman. After getting along with each other for the past 2 years, when he realized that his feelings were deep, he felt more uncomfortable than anyone else. It was already too late to get out, not to mention he didn't want to get out yet. But by hiding the seed, it kept sprouting and growing in his heart, and the seeds of evil would always torment him from time to time. Even if he didn't do anything in the first place, he can't get rid of the crime of concealment. Before Tanyuj showed up, he had extravagantly hoped that Tianyuman's feelings would transfer to him, secretly bury the truth deep in his heart, and use his feelings to melt her heart wrapped in ice. If she fell in love with him, knowing the truth back then, she would definitely not blame him. But how could he not know that she only felt the same towards him as a brother or a friend? It was because of his concealment back then that he was unable to pursue her freely in the past few years. He wished he had told her the truth, so that he could pursue her without guilt. Now it seems that they can only be friends. Apart from blessing them and silently standing by her side to protect her, it seems that there is nothing that can be done. It seems that the engagement ring will return to his hands sooner or later, and being able to be with Xiao Daobi is indeed his extravagant wish. Tanyuj, who had played a little trick, was completely in contrast to Kenny's depressed mood at this moment. At this moment, his face was full of the smile of a successful conspiracy. He flicked the phone and smiled like a cat that was stealing. How cool. So cool. Kenny Bryce, are you going to fight me? Are you a little more tender? There is no old hobby in a new love. Even if you are with Jian'er now, your ex will always be a thorn in your heart. How could Tanyuj, a doctor of psychology, not understand this? Without him having to say much, Kenny Bryce would have enough to think about for years. In addition to these few meetings, I have already thoroughly studied Kenny Bryce's character, and I also know that with Kenny Bryce's personality, it is impossible to question Tianyuman. And he, Tanyuj, could slowly break their relationship, successfully leverage the corner, and deceive Jian'er again. Tanyuj was very happy and walked with bounce. Tanyuj, the old devil, accidentally stood at the bathroom door again. He was interrupted by Kenny's call just now, and now he wants to continue the bad thing he wanted to do. Put your hand on the door handle, turn it slightly, and it comes loose. Wow! Jian'er takes a shower without locking the door. Knowing this, Tanyuj was angry and happy. Angry that she didn't lock the door. What if someone else with evil intentions came in? I was also happy that the door was unlocked, so he could sneak in and steal the fragrance. However, a man who was obsessed with thinking had forgotten that not everyone could sneak into the hotel where Tianyuman stayed, and not everyone could get the room key card like him, the hotel owner. Even his colleagues would not enter casually. In Tianyuman's room, even if she accidentally walked in, she would still be a woman. End of this chapter.